It's what everybody's talking about, the weather, specifically those high winds blowing dust and sand that continue to cover the valley.
It's been howling since yesterday and it's not letting up, and as you'd expect, it is causing some road closures. Looking live from our Fantasy Springs camera, and you can see the winds and then the sand there blowing around in the air.
Angela Monroe braving the elements tonight in Palm Springs along Indian Canyon Drive, which is now closed, joins us with the very latest. Angela, how you holding up?
Well, it is definitely quite windy out here at North Indian Canyon Drive. As you can tell, we have some very harsh blowing sand, which has forced the closure of North Indian Canyon Drive as well as Gene Autry, which only leaves two ways into Palm Springs. That's either Date Palm Drive in Cathedral City or Highway 111 at Interstate 10. Roads are vanishing in the desert as blowing sand reduces visibility, swallowing up vehicles, shaking light poles, and shrouding our mountains.
It's extremely windy and there's sand going everywhere. It's quite unusual. I've never been out here a bunch of times and I've never seen anything like this before.
The high winds are especially dangerous for semi-drivers like Jimmy Cash.
Scary, very scary sometimes. You wouldn't expect it, but you'd think that something seriously is going to go wrong, but just pray it doesn't.
Drivers are braving heavy traffic and gusting winds.
Basically, with some of the crosswinds, with this light car, sometimes it buffets, and so you got to slow down a little bit, and you got to really take your time.
And that's what California Highway Patrol says you need to do. Officers say wind has been a factor in crashes because people are not driving a safe speed.
If you can't see, 70 miles an hour is not a safe speed. And that's what we're talking about. All vehicles need to be aware, because the high winds apply to high-profile vehicles. But now we have the blowing sand and dust that go along with it. That presents a hazard to everybody.
Police say you should also turn on your headlights or even your hazards.
When the visibility is zero, it can become very dangerous, because if you can't see what's in front of you, you're going to run into something. Then what also happens is the sand buildup across the roadway, and it becomes basically a launch ramp.
And this blowing sand is going to mean a lot of cleanup. Many drivers found their cars coated in a thick layer of dust.
I actually had it cleaned on Friday, and with all this wind and the sand and the dirt, I'm going to need to take it back in to have it cleaned again. And on the way out here on Interstate 10, kind of ran into a little bit of a funny sight. I have a picture that I sent back to the newsroom. It's of a sandstorm toy hauler, which is a little bit ironic considering our current sandstorm. And so once again, back out here on North Indian Canyon Drive, we don't know when this road or Autry Trail will close. That depends on the wind, so that crews will be able to clean up the huge drifts you see behind me. And that could take a while because, as you mentioned earlier, the high wind warning is in effect until 8 tomorrow night. Reporting live in Palm Springs, I'm Angela Monroe. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Angela. Got the tough duty tonight.